Hey folks, have you ever thought about keeping an aquarium with no filter whatsoever, no mechanical filtration? I met two people this weekend that do that and got a little tour of their fish rooms. We're going to do that plus a little bit of more road trip footage. It's all coming up right after this. Hey YouTube, this is Pecktec, and we've got a very special show for you. I very rarely get to tour outside of my own little cave and go visit someone else's fish room, but I did precisely that. This weekend we went on a road trip, and by we I mean Fish Room Fever. James from Fish Room Fever and Ed of Chattanooga Ed decided to come up, and we went to Indianapolis. It's a rainy day, waiting on Ed. He's gonna pick us up, and we're gonna go to a fish swap, go hang out, play some board games. Speaking of which, this is how I'm packed. We got clothes and other sundry items, camera and computer, board games. Oh, and look. Ed has arrived. There's a fish swap there. There's a local club there that does a fish swap. The turnout for that was not tremendous. Apparently they went and there was a much bigger turnout last time, but we had a great time. I actually did bring back a couple of fish. I got 3 red spot gobies and 2 Indonesian dragon gobies. Pretty cool fish. They really, really love the sand, especially, I think it's the red spot gobies. They love to dig in the sand. You forever find them with their little heads popping out. And it's really interesting too how quickly they can just submerge themselves in there. We'll do a longer video about the gobies after I get to know them a little bit better, but I've had a lot of fun watching them in this small tank. Some of them I probably will migrate if they do okay in here. Might migrate them over to another tank with sand. The red spots definitely need sand. The other ones don't seem to dig. The dragon gobies don't seem to dig as much. So the journey there to Indianapolis was fine. It's about 5 or 6 hours away, I suppose, with some stops. I was really happy to have Ed drive the entire way. Thank you, Ed. Mostly on these road trips, usually I'm driving. It was nice to have someone else take the reins for a while. And it was fun hanging out with a couple of friends. After we got there, we took in a board game store, which was pretty fun. We also ate some barbecue, which we really liked. After that, we went to go see Haley from Oddball Aquatics and take a look at her stuff.
Content, so
This is,
I'm excited to show him.
this is a truly amazing
I love it. Thank you.
accomplishment. I love these things too. There's
The red
lilies
tiger
down in
lotus.
there.
Red tiger lotus. That's an awesome plant. It'll take over though. But yeah, all the substrate in there is just dirt. There's no cap on it.
Just dirt with no
It's
cap.
just dirt.
And there's roguefish in there now, or
There's not in there now because I just pulled them out because I'm musical fishing them, trying to see if I've got eggs in here.
okay.
To see if I've bred them yet.
You just move them around so they don't eat any newborns.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do now. I haven't done it yet. This is my first attempt. But yeah, and I'm breeding Neocaridina in here too. And the roguefish eat them.
They do.
And they breed in here. Because
Wow.
it's thick enough that the shrimp can breed without depleting their colony.
This is really, really amazing.
I believe it is. John Cox said, is that a prefab outdoor pond put in a box with soil around it?
Yes,
Yeah, there you go.
that's exactly what it is. It's a prefab pond. I built a box around it. Well, my dad did. I helped. And then we sealed it poorly. We will seal it better next time.
Hey, Bob Carey.
And then we-
I think all you need is a little kickstand now.
Well, I have a...
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It works just like that.
How awesome.
I can get the money.
Gotcha. I'll see if I can get a hold of it, John, and get you that email.
My favorite thing is right now is that I got those 2 giant plecos in there, and I still have the whole tank planted. It's not all ripped
There's
up.
some really pretty ones in there.
I didn't even notice the albino the first time. I just looked.
I didn't
right
see
over
him
it.
either until just now.
Albino royal sailfish. They still got some growing to do.
Oh, I like
Do they not
shrimps
jump?
in it.
But
No,
yeah, the
they
shrimps are
don't.
cool.
They do fine in them. It's just everybody puts shellies in them. Why would you put shellies in them?
Because I don't have shellies.
That's why I did a shrimp tank, because I was like, sorry. It's
I
like a
have
shrimp tank
shrimps.
to me.
But I have like 4 shrimp tanks. Oh, I whistled.
Whistle on them?
Not that I know of. I got a chip one from hockey.
Oh yeah, Ed, you gotta see this. I got these crabs. I got baby crabs.
That's something most people don't brag about.
No, these are rainbow and marble vampire crabs. They're born at work.
Can they all live together?
Yeah.
Well, they were born at work.
Yeah. They were born in our holding tank.
Oh, thank you.
And it
Bob
was
Haley, for
either
looking for
we get
that.
them out of there or they become lunch for someone else, I'm sure. So
Right.
you need some of those puffers. Those things are sweet.
She has a video on them breeding, and it's like the
It's
boys
violent.
just chew on the girls.
Oh, really?
The male grabs the female from underneath, and then she will fling him all around the tank while she sprays out eggs.
She
And-
got all done up for you guys.
Yeah, I
You're-
put on my pajamas. What's up?
You make videos for Oddball Aquatics?
Oddball Aquatics, yeah. That's
Yeah.
me.
And what are you into? You're into rope fish.
Ropefish. 100% ropefish all the time. I actually did a talk in my club about ropefish
Okay.
last week. No,
No,
3 weeks ago?
3
2
weeks
weeks ago?
ago.
I don't know what day it is. I'm very tired.
Work every day.
I'm always tired.
Impressive aquariums.
Thank you, sir.
Truly.
I appreciate
She had an amazing setup. She worked with Lucas Bretts or LR Bretts. Her big passion is rope fish, and she's trying really hard to breed them. So I think that that's a really interesting endeavor. In fact, I think rope fish take about 15 years to sexually mature, according to them. And it's really hard to tell about how old they are. So she might be in for a long wait with some of her imports, or maybe not. It could be any day. But we do wish her the best of luck. She was made some really incredible environments for them, including some indoor ponds that are just really amazing, like basically big paludariums, kind of like a low boy paludarium in a couple of different places. But just looking around their tanks, I mean, they have minimal filtration, or there's filters in them that are turned off. No air bubbling or sponges or anything. It's just, they're just there running. But a lot of pretty fish and a lot of pretty tanks. Nobody really seemed the worse for wear, just like my brief interactions there with them. I was especially fascinated, I think, with the low boy tank. I think that those are really neat. And I had a great time looking around. Thank you so much, Haley, for having us over. Oh, and a happy belated birthday to you. That night, we took in some Cthulhu Death May Die, a board game that I brought along. In fact, I brought a big bag of board games along. We only ended up playing Cthulhu Death May Die, which was actually about half of the boxes in there. And the next morning, we got up and went to the swap. We got there a little bit late. I think a few people had left already, but we still had some shopping to do.
There we go.
It's a parking lot with fish nerds. Yay! Hey, a couple thousand miles, it's all worth it. It's all coming together now.
It is.
You excited?
I am.
What are you looking for, Ed?
A fish.
A particular fish?
Yes, one that swims.
Do you have any more specific?
I want some red Mosaic Guppies. And we'll see what else.
Okay.
Definitely live bears.
Let's see what they got. For the bag of them? My goodness.
Those ones are fully aquatic.
Really?
Yep, we do have semi-terrestrial crabs. Haley, I think.
I did the daisies with the job. I'm gonna try doing daisies in a really big.
They're so cute.
Are they?
believe you did me like that.
Do you want this mail?
Yeah, I do.
That's what.
Thank
Your
you.
box.
I appreciate it.
I'm so lucky.
I'm so excited about this.
Raccoons don't like the duck meat.
I got
Because it gets
respect
like
it.
the sticks.
I bought some driftwood from a really nice fella that I'm excited to use one day. And I bought the Guppies that I mentioned earlier, and I'm really happy with them. They've been really entertaining fish to look at next to my desk while I work. After that, we went to L.R. Britt's place and had a look around. I was amazed. This guy has aquariums shoved into every corner of his house. I mean, there was really any appropriately sized space was occupied with fish tanks. Lots and lots of really gorgeous tanks over and over. There were some that were had green water or had completely greened out and stuff, but those are perfect for raising fry. I mean, although a lot of his tanks were sort of utilitarian that way, there were a lot of them that were just exceptionally beautiful too. I think a lot of people have seen people like Food the Flower Horn, for instance, has a huge following. He does this like little tiny, I forget if it's 5 to 10 gallon little no filter tank. He gets lots and lots of views. A really fascinating little project that he has. Lucas is doing this house wide, like it's all over the place. It's actually really incredible.
So my name is Lucas Bretz of LRB Aquatics. I have a YouTube channel. I keep 300 or so aquariums. Mostly let Mother Nature do the work. A lot of filterless aquariums. And yeah, I'm real well known for shrimp and certain lines of endlers and guppies and some other things as well.
Does it shock people when you tell them that you don't use filters?
Yeah, for the most part.
I mean, you use some filters, right?
I used to. Now I really don't. I pretty much pulled most of my filtration out. So what I used to do is run air lines and stuff like that, but then I made a heated outdoor pond system where I made this fancy sump filter, all this jazz to move the water around, filtrate it. That ended up busting it down, and then I let Mother Nature just kind of do her thing, kept my fish out there, all kinds of stuff, cardinal tetras, rainbows, barbs, you name it. And then they were all doing great out there, so I figured if I could do it out there, then why can't I do it in here? So then I started transitioning and trusting more in Mother Nature and less on my paranoia and my errors that I would put into my fish room or aquariums, because most of the time we just end up making more out of it where we cause more problems than what it really should be.
Is there something that you do in particular to prepare a tank to be kept that way? Is there anything different in like a planted tank setup?
No, not really. I'm impatient, so since I do already have aquariums, I do like to either use cycled water or some dirty mulch to cycle that tank that day, but besides that I don't do anything special. Shut that off for you. I do keep a lot of dehumidifiers around since I have a lot of open tops.
Yeah, I guess so. How often do you do water changes on these things? Is it a lot?
No, this year, maybe a couple of times this year.
I hear Haley's chiming in back here. All right.
Well, since Haley quit working for me, really haven't been doing a whole lot with the tanks as far as water changing. It is nice when I can get my water.
It's all on you if they go back. Okay.
I did some.
She realized that. Okay.
Well, I mean, I could do water changes if really necessary, but no, for the most part, they're pretty sustainable. As far as water changes, it's more for the plants and keeping them growing and reoxygenated and
you've got some really, really beautiful live bearers and different things, and he's got these amazing. Well, I guess we could call them algae scapes.
So with this algae scape tank, I had dwarf neons, some rice fish in there, some pseudomugule luminatus, and I was community breeding and keeping all these fish, black neon tetras, all kinds of stuff. And what they'll do is they'll scatter all amongst the algae, and since the eggs are really clear, they can camouflage in the algae real well, so more end up being in those algae scapes, which actually end up being some of my best breeding tanks and raising tanks, because not only will the fish not be as likely to eat all their eggs once you do take them out, then when the eggs do hatch and the fry do come to life, then there's all kinds of microorganisms within that algae scape because they're all eating off the ecosystem. And I actually just feed tetracolor tropical granules on top, which I don't know if the fish actually eat, but if they're not eating it, the microorganisms are.
Right. And your fish, you sell fish. online?
I do. LRBAquatics.com. Really well known for my shrimp.
Shrimp too.
I've been
yeah.
working on for a long time, so.
And plants, right?
Yes, and lots of plants. I'm plant guy. Plants are what really got me into the hobby. Once, like I always kept a tank as a kid, like catching whatnot out of the creek. But once I went to the store, well, not until I was out of college, I realized that they actually had a plant section. Like I always walked past it, not even really thinking anything about it. But then I found all these plants, and then, man, it was game over. Started getting on plantedtank.net and all the forums back in the day. Used to collect plants from all over the world.
Back when that was the only way to communicate about it. Yeah. Well, that is, you have a really, really impressive setup, and I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to me.
Well, I'm glad you were able to come up here, and that's awesome that you got to come over here, and that I've been wanting to get you up here for quite some time because I'm a fan of yours as well.
Well, when you come down, you're welcome anytime down in Tennessee. You all come down, and we'll keep you up for show you my tanks and stuff.
Awesome. I love that. I love that.
It's not just in the house, too. Around back, he's got piles and piles of rocks. He's working on a huge pond project, and he told me a little bit about it.
A few rocks.
Yeah, you're kind of rocking it out over here.
Yeah.
I think you need a few more.
Right.
Jeez.
Actually, I do have to order some more.
How did these come? Did they just pull? Oh, look, I see them on pallets.
Yeah.
So a big truck just
Big
pull
truck
up here?
and, they got a special vehicle that'll pallet them out.
And just kind of stack them up along here?
Yeah.
My goodness, my back hurts just looking at all that. And this is what you're putting in?
Yeah, so this
The
is
beginnings of it?
30 by around 20, and then 10 by 5 or so, 10, and then another 10 by 10, and then it's going to go 10 by 5, and then there's going to be another 10 by 10, and then it's going to go about another 15 by 5.
So you're going all the way up there? Like all the way up by the porch?
All the way up until the edge of this house. See, I'll show you up on the deck what I plan on doing.
Okay.
I wish I had
This is like a mega pond.
You have a swimming pool, Ed. You could convert it. I still gotta cut these trees, what I would actually be doing today. But this is all gonna be pond. From over here all the way over, and then it's gonna stream over here. And I'll have a step over here, stream a waterfall. I'll go down to a pond, stream, waterfall, pond, stream, waterfall, pond.
The greenhouse got moved.
Yeah, and then the greenhouse will be here, and I'm going to put a big fish tank in that so everybody can see fish in the winter.
How cool. Wow, that's going to be, that's a huge project. No wonder you have so many rocks.
Yes.
How long do you think it'll take you to finish this? You just work on it all winter or something?
Should be done here in a couple weeks.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah, so I hooked up with Greg Woodstock, the pond guy.
Okay.
Aquascape, and they have a master aquascaper coming out, and he's going to be helping us
Oh,
put
that's
this all together. They're going to do a big event and have other contractors come out and kind of learn, because they teach all these contractors how to build ponds and all that kind of stuff, which really is a good business.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I started building mine and realized that I was getting in over my head. I was getting pretty far, doing a lot of things.
Sure.
And then I decided I wanted another pond. If I'm going to do it, I might as well do it all.
If you're gonna make a lazy river around your house anyway,
Right.
might as well get some help.
Yeah, right. So they've been awesome working with, and yeah, I can't wait.
That is
Super excited.
that is amazing. That's gonna be so I can't just imagine that flowing water all the way from up here.
Yeah.
So do you reckon fish will stay in the different areas? Do you wonder?
I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
Are they gonna all end up in the pond eventually, or?
Either way, they're going to end up in waters.
Right. So there'll be water all
Gotta
the.
move them back and forth here and there. I mean,
It'd be cool if you had salmon and they could just like go back up. Different.
pretty wild.
That'd be pretty neat.
Maybe we could eat them.
Yeah, and then you could eat them when you're done.
When we were actually fixing the house and they were digging up underneath it, just a bunch of water was just pouring out because it was just sitting in our foundations. Joking around that we should cut a square out of our concrete and then just fill it up with water, keep tilapia down there, and then if stuff hit the fan, I'd have a whole farm of tilapia down there.
Yeah.
People wouldn't even know it.
And in the meantime, you just sell it to local restaurants and stuff.
Right, exactly.
Locally sourced tilapia from my basement. What's interesting too is even on the back porch, she's got these year-round outdoor ponds with more guppies and more breeder fish in there.
Really amazing guppies. So these have like all my rare guppies, but mixed. So you get all these rare genetics mixing together. Some really, really crazy stuff I've been pulling out of there.
Wow, and it's just teeming with life inside of here. Did you say this is year-round?
Yeah, year-round.
How do they stay warm enough?
There's 4 500-watt heaters in here.
Oh, okay.
And then it's insulated with housing foam. Like there's dirt here, but the dirt's only about yay big. The rest is housing insulation, spray foam.
Okay. So you got like great stuff kind of, or something like it all around through there. And what is this?
That's corkscrew valve.
Corkscrew valve?
Yeah. And some of these like green and red ones in here that are just absolutely phenomenal.
Let's see if I can zoom in. See all the stuff going on in here.
Oh, there's one of the red green ones. Oh wow, look at that guy. Holy moly.
If you remember, I'm not at my house. I have the urge to just shove my phone down in the water. Everybody appreciates that.
On the, with the
Oh, yeah, it is.
Wow. That guy's really amazing.
Isn't he? That's why I had to dip him.
I always thought these are really like the true
Yeah.
red layers. They're really
Those are the
bold.
lime greens too.
It was a lot of fun. I had fun talking to him. He had a lot of interesting things to say. All right, folks, so how about you? I don't know if I'm brave enough to turn off my filter on like here and just kind of see what happens. I might have to do that with a tank, though. I'm just curious. I mean, I'm not sure. It's sort of in a way, it makes perfect sense. But I'm kind of scared to try it. I don't know. Are you scared? Let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, looking at Haley and Lucas's stuff, I can say that it's definitely more than possible. So folks, I hope you enjoyed that. I wanted to show you something a little bit different, a little bit off the beaten path. It's always fun to tour other people's fish rooms, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come in and have a look around. I was really inspired by the whole thing. I love seeing how other people tackle difficult problems. I thought that was great. Huge thank you to all my Patreons who helped me with this trip. Whether you realize it or not, the gas and the food money that I spent was straight from Patreon, and I really appreciate it. And although in some cases I could do some of these things even without those funds, it really makes a big difference in me being more comfortable with spending the money, especially at a time where the economy is kind of all over the place. I love you guys on Patreon and everybody else that comes in, even if all you're doing is giving me a thumbs up or a comment or just taking your time to watch the show. I really appreciate you, and I hope this video finds you well. But folks, that's all I got for you this week. Until we meet again, follow your bliss. Keep a clean tank with or without a filter, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Looking handsome.